नमः सुन्दरनाथाय तस्मै हालास्य वासिने चतुष्षष्टि विधालीला येनाकारि भवस्थले श्रीमत् सुन्दरनाथस्य देवीं शफरलोचनां कलये हृदये नित्यं कदम्ब वनवासिनी पूतं स्वतः पूतत्वरं ततो यद् गाङ्गं पयः शङ्करमौलिसङ्गात् तत्पातु मातुः प्रणयापराध पादाहते पूततमं ततो नः आलक्ष्य पूजा व्यवसायमेषाम् अपाम् अभावात् परं च खेदं दीनानुकम्पानिधिः इंदुमौलिः दिव्यं सरः तत्र विधातुम् ऐच्छत्. The poet has been describing how people wanted to try to find out this Shivalingam, and they put in a lot of effort to come and see it. Some people could just look at only the Kadambavanam from afar. Some people could come to the edge of it and see the trees. Some entered it to search for the Sundaralingam. Only some of them came near and stood. So when they came and stood near that lingam, they did not expect to find it because it was a very difficult thing to find, and so they did not expect to find this lingam, and they did not bring in all their puja samagri. Some people who knew how to just praise the Lord with stotram, they would just stand there and vagbihi archana makurvanna. Tadanantaram kechanato dhyana parayanaha. Some people who were involved in meditation, they would look at that Lord inside their mind and do a dhyanam of Parameshwara. And there were others who could only do bahya archana. Bahya samagrihi upayujya tatra bahya archana puja ityadikam tu kartavyam ityeva tesham manasi vartate. So they will try to look for objects and abhishekam. See, the simple thing that people do is take a small kalasham of water and then pour it on that lingam. That is their form of doing puja to the Lord, right? So even for that abhishekam, they did not have any means to get water from there. So Bhagavan looked at this and he said, Alakshya puja vyavasayam esham apam abhavat. There are two problems. One is there is no water here. The other is these people were also intent on doing a puja to the Shivalingam. Puja vyavasayam tesham pujartham yatnam kurvatam tesham jananam khedam drishtva. And they felt very sad because they could not find any samagri to do the abhishekam. Dina anukampanidhihi indumaulihi Shivaha tatra saraha vidhatum aichhat. So he decided that he wants to build a lake there. Now, this is a quotation from Halasya Mahatmyam. I think I said this also last time. Tadanim gananathascha prarthayanti sma shankaram. Gananathaha ye tatra samagataha asanna te shankaram shivam prarthayanti. He jivan mukti pureshana bhagavan Bhaktavatsala Pashya Mahalingam Abhisheka Vivarjitam. This Mahalingam, this Swayambhu Lingam is without any Abhisheka. Asmakam Icha Mahati Sanjata Snana Karmani. So we have a great desire to do Snanam and do this Abhishekam for this Mahalingam. So Mahalinga Abhishekaya Sharirinam Cha Snanaya Kuru Sadhyaha Punyatamam Tirtham Bhoga Apa. Apavargam cha dadati. Bhogam is aihika sukham, apavargam is moksha, and something that will give both tatha saraha kriyatam iti. Now this is a prarthana that the Shiva Ganas do to Shiva, whereas the poet has taken liberties. So usually the kavyam will not follow the story in the Purana to the T. If you look at Shakuntalam, the story is completely different because Dushyanta is not a very great character in Mahabharatam or in Padma Puranam. He's a person who forgets Shakuntala. For him, she is one of the many people with whom he has been. Whereas Kalidasa makes him into a very noble character and gives him the status of a hero in his kavyam, in his natakam, Abhigyana Shakuntala. So it doesn't have to follow the Puranam completely without any deviations. But here, so you can to input the rasam, to bring in a nice kavya rasam and appreciation, you can change the story a little bit to suit the kavya audience. So in the same way here, if you look at the Purana says that the Shiva Ganas all prayed to Shankara to create a lake there. But Shiva, whereas in the Kavyam we see that Shiva himself, looking at the sorrow of his bhaktas, he is a very compassionate God, and so he decided to make a lake in that place. Now the 70th shloka. So from here, the description of how the Shiva Tirtham, the lake was called Shiva Tirtham. There are many names for that lake. It is also called, I think, Hema Pankajam. Hema Pankajam, something like that. Just like how in Tiruvarur, you have Kamalalayam, Tatha or Haridra Nadi, as in Mannargudi. Every lake has its own name here. One is Shiva Tirtham. This is in Madurai. There is another name also for it. I forget. If I remember, I'll bring it up next time. So, Saha Dakshinasyam Dishi Banapate Saraha Vidhasyan Amritamshumalihi Sakritvilasad Iva Nirbibheda Tikshnena Bhumim Trishikhanchalena. Shiva took up his Trishulam, Trishikhaha, his Trishulam, and he hit the Bhumi, Nirbibheda, Tikshnena Trishikha Anchalena, Trishulasya Anchalena Agrabhagena, Saha Bhumim Nirbibheda, Spotayamasa. Tatra, he just hit the Bhumi with the corner of his Trishulam only once, Vilasadiva, as if it was just a leela for him. It was a mere sport for him. So, Vilasat iva, saha amritamshu malihi, amrita amshu, amritameva amshuhu, Potramare Kulam, correct. Adada. And the Potramare Kulatthukku there is a Sanskritam name for it, which is Hemambuja Saraha, Tatakam or something like that. There is a specific name for it in Sanskritam. I was thinking of that name. Okay. So, Dakshinasyam Asaha Amritamshu Malihi Amritamshuhu ityukte Amritamiva Amshavaha Yasya Saha iti Chandraha. So, the moon has Amshu Kiranam, which is like Amritam, which gives a cooling effect to the people. So, Tadrisha Chandraha Maulihi Maulau Yasya Saha. So, Shirasi Chandram Dharati Saha Devaha Saha Amritamshu Manihi. So, Chandrashekharaha. So, one who has the moon on his head, Saha Devaha Dakshinasyam Dishi Banapate. Dakshinasyam Dishi, in the southern direction, Banapate. Banapatam is the distance that it takes for an arrow to fall from the lingam. So it is not very close to the lingam, but it is at a distance where an arrow will fall. So Bana Pataha ityukte tatra Banasya Patanam Yavat Gocharam Vidyate Manam Vidyate Tatra Sthane. So Bana Patana Gochare Sthane Saha Saraha Vidhasyan Saraha Tatakam Vidhasyan Karishyan, thinking to wanting to create a lake in the southern direction at a distance of an arrow fall. So, Banapate, Dakshinasyam Dishi, Saraha Vidasyan Saha Amritamshumalihi, Sakrit. He struck the earth once, Bhumim Nirbibeda. He struck the earth once, Vilasadiva, as if out of sport, or Leelaya. Tatra, Trishikha Anchalena. Trishulam has Tishraha Shikhaha, Shulaha. It has three ends, and so the Trishulam is called Trishikhaha. Agnehe shikha iva asya ayudhasyapi shikhaha vartante iti karanat tatra trishulaha ityasya trishikhaha ityapi anyate nama. So trishikhasya trishulasya anchalena. Anchalam, usually we use this anchalam as border for saris and vastram and all that. So here also he says he just uses only the top portion of that trishulam. He doesn't make a great effort to bury it inside the ground. Sampurnam trishulam purnataya tatra antaha na gatam iti. Kevalam tatra trishikasya anchalenaiva tatasaha tadanam akarot. There is no, he didn't have to make a great force, nor did he have to push the entire trishulam inside. It was just with a small effort, only the corner of that trishulam just hit that bhumi. But then the effect of it you'll see in the next shloka. So, Saha Dakshinasyam Dishi Banapate. So, there is a reference in Halasya Mahatmyam. The entire episode has been described in Halasya Mahatmyam. So, I've just taken references here and there. So, Ganaihi evam prartitasanna Jivan Mukti Pureshwaraha Chakhana cha Trishulena Lingasya Agneya Deshataha. So, Dakshinasyam Dishi is given in the Kavyam, whereas Agneya Disha, the Dik, is also southern, but it is southeast direction. That's all the differences. So, Dakshinasya meva, kintu Dakshina Purvayam Dishi, which is Agneya Disha. That is given in the Purana. And Trishulena Chakhana, he dug with his Trishulam. Dakshinasyam Dishibanapate Sarovidhasyan Amritam Shumalihi Sakrit Vilasadiva Nirbibheda Tikshnena Bhumim Trishikhanchalena Avidhya Shulam Bhuvi Sadhya Eva Padangadam Pashyati Sundareshe Bhaktasyate Nakshatiras Tujatu Sheshas Sukhi Ityaha Sutta Himadrehe. A very beautiful way of saying that Trishulam went until the Patala Lokam here. So it went to the Patala Lokam. Shulam Bhuvi Avidhya. He hit the Bhumi with his Shulam. Avidhya. After striking or after piercing the Bhumi, the earth, with his weapon, Shulam, at that moment, Sadhya Eva, he looked below at his foot. Because he knew that the Shulam would go until the Patala Lokam. Prayaha Anantasheshasya Shirasi Tadayet iti, he thinks. Okay, he thought that probably this would have gone and hit Sheshanaga, who is there in Patala Lokam. It would have gone and hit his head, and probably there is an injury on Ananta's head. So Shulam Avidhya, now he looks at his foot. Because at his foot, he wears Anantanaga as his ornament. Pada Angadam Pashyati Sundareshe Sati. So Sundareshe, Sundareshaha, Shivaha, Mahadevaha, Tatra Pada Angadam, Padasya Angadam, Pada Angadam Vati, Athava Pada Abhushanavati, Veshtitam Tatra Anantanagam Pashyati Sati. Sundaresha looks at his own leg, where an angada or an ornament is there, and that he wears only sarpa bhushanaha saha. So he wears all the serpents, snakes as his abharanam. So at his foot, because it is patalam, and you have to think of the Vishwamurti. Right? Similar to Purusha Suktam, Padosya Vishwabhutani, Tripadasya Amritam Divi. So here also his pada talam is patalam. And so the ornament for his padam, both of his padam, is Anantashesha. It is another serpent. So he looks at his ornament here, pada angadam, is when he looks at his foot. Now Parvati, who is standing beside, she understands what he is thinking. So probably he has Sundaresha, that is Shiva, he is doubting that Anantashesha has gotten hurt because of his hitting with this Trishulam. And she assures him, saying, don't worry, nothing has happened to your devotee. Anantashesha tu, atra Shivasya, he is a devotee, Bhaktaha, he is a devotee of Shiva. here. So te bhaktasya, tava bhaktasya kshatihi na jatu asti. Jatu na asti. Jatu kadapi na asti na bhavati. Sheshaha sukhi. Shesha is very happy here. Don't worry. Nothing happened to Shesha. Iti himadrehe suta aha. So prayaha bhartuhu shankam sa janati. She understands the doubt that Parameshwara has, and that tam shankam apanodana prakaram api sa jaya eva janati. If there is a doubt that the husband has, it's only the wife who will quickly catch up on it, and she will remove that doubt. The Kavi beautifully brings that here, and he says, Himadrehe Suta, Himavat Putri Parvati, Atra Parshvasthasa. She tells him, she tells him in this following manner, Te Bhaktasya Jatu Kadapi Kshatihi na asti, Hanihi na vidyate, Nashaha nasti, Sheshaha Patalavasi Sarpaha, Sarparajaha. Saha Sukhi Eva. He is not hit by your shulam, so you don't need to worry about it. Or another thing also, and I was just thinking now, te bhaktasya kshatihi na jatu asti, sheshaha api sukhi. Sheshaha, the rest of the people in the Patalam are also fine. It's not that only Sheshanaga is present there. The entire Sarpalokam is present in the Patalam there. So none of the others are hurt too. So Sheshaha, the remaining people are also Sukhi. Sukhena vartante eva. Ityabhiprayaha kaver abhiprayaha na jane. So avidya shulam bhuvi sadya eva Padangadam pashyati sundareshe. Sundareshe pashyati sati. Bhaktasya te nakshadirastu jatu sheshas sukhi. Ityaha sudha himadrehe. Avidhyamanat trishikhabhighataihi adah kapalat jagadanda bhiktehe ambho yadandavaranayitam tad udbudbudam tat kshanam udbabhuva. So you can make a big lake, but then it has to be filled with water. Okay? Whether there is water table that comes up and fills up or not, there is another method of filling up water in this saras. Divyam saraha khalu. Atra. Parameshwarena sakshat swayam nirmitam saraha. Tari tatra jala vyavastha kidrishi asite. Iti chet. The moment he hit with this shulam, it went until the Patalam, and the Patalam is within this Brahmandam. So think of the Brahmandam as one huge cosmic egg. So it went and pierced the lower Kapalam of that egg. Kapalam is actually one half of an egg. Okay. So here also Brahmandasya adah Kapalam ityukte, the half, the downward portion or the lower half of the entire cosmic egg is your Adah Kapalam. It went and struck that Adah Kapalam, the bottom portion, which is the cover for this Brahmandam, and the Brahmandam has all of these 14 lokas. The 7 above and 7 below. This entire thing is enclosed in one avaranam, which is like a Kapalam form, which is an avaranam, which is the Prithvi avaranam first. Then you have the next layer is Apaha. There are 7 such layers. If you have read Bhagavatam or Vishnu Puranam is, I think, has that reference here. I'm not sure if I took up that reference here or not. No, I didn't give that reference here. In Vishnu Puranam, in the second adhyaya, first amsha, second adhyaya, the 59th shloka gives the 7 avaranas. Vari vanhi anila akashaihi bhutadina bahihi vritam dashagunaihi andam bhutadihi matat tatha. So there are 7 avaranas for this entire egg. Think of it like, a fetus, and then you have a placenta, you have the amniotic fluid, and then the uterus wall. There are so many layers that are present for a small fetus that is inside the mother's body. In the same manner, think of this whole world like an egg, cosmic egg, which has coverings. There are 7 coverings around it. Those 7 coverings, the first layer is vari, water. The next is vanhi, where we are going when I say that the first level is water here. So vari, vanhi, fire, then anila, katra, vayu, then akasham, bhutadihi. Bhutadihi ityukte pancha bhutanam adibhutaha yaha adi source, that moolataya vartate yat yaha tamasa ahankaraha ityuchyate. So when you look at the srishti kramam, you have ahankara, pradhanam, prakriti, mahat, ahankara, and then you have the tanmatras and pancha mahabhutanam, srishtihi bhavati. So the bhutas, pancha mahabhutas, are created from the tamas ahankara, tamasa ahankara. So the 5th layer is your tamasa ahankara. Then beyond that you have mahattattvam, 6th layer, and the 7th layer is the prakriti or pradhanam, which is the source for all of the creation in this world. And it's both vyaptam and it is also present within this whole world. So when you read the Srishti Kramam in Puranas, you will understand this Srishti Kramam. Now, because he uses the word avaranam here, I had to go into this detail of there being 7 avaranas, 7 coverings for this Brahmandam, wherein all 14 worlds are present. Now, the first layer of covering we saw is apaha, vari. So when this Trishikha abhigataihi avidhyamanat adahkapalat anda avaranayitam ambaha udbudbudam udbabhuva. Udbabhuva bahihi niragachat. It came out along with bubbles. Udbudbudam. Budbudaha jalaspotaha. Bubbles. Udgataha jalaspotaha. Yatha syat tatha iti kriya visheshana matra. So udbudam udbabhuva. It came out of that covering, outer covering, with the bubbles. So Trishikha abhigataihi, by the striking of his Trishulam, Trishikhasya abhigataihi tadanaihi avidhyamanat, vividhyamanat, that which is being pierced, adah kapalat, jagad anda bhittehe adah kapalat, jagat eva andam atra, tasya bhitti is outer wall. So the outer wall of the cosmic egg. Okay, the egg which is there is the worlds which are like in the form of an egg. Tasya bhitti, outer wall, which is Prithvi Tattvam. Tasya adah kapalat, adah kapalam ityukte anda avayava bhutam kapalam. Sahatu adhovage vartate patalat parap. So the covering that is there for Patalam and the bottommost covering of it. Saha tasmat adah kapalat jagad anda bhittehe adah kapalat. So Brahmanda bhittehe adah kapalat, from the bottom part. Yat ambaha udbabhuva. Yat ambaha asti. Katham asti anda avaranayitam ambaha vidyate. So that water which is present as an avaranam, covering for the andam, for the egg. So andasya avaranameva acharati ambaha apaha iti tattvam. So the mahabhutam, water, acts as an avaranam for the brahmandam. So brahmandasya achadanataya yat ambam sthitam vidyate, ambaha sthitam vidyate jalam tat kshanameva. In a takshanameva, at that moment itself, that water, tat, oh, there are 2 tat. I left out 1 tat here. So I would say, yat ambaha vidyate, tat ambaha tat kshanameva Udbudbudam, along with bubbles, Udbabhuva, it came out, it sprang forth. So now we need water to fill up that entire lake. And the waters came from the avaranam, covering that is there outside of this Brahmanda. So the Puranam also gives the same thing here. Chakhanacha Trishulena Lingasya Agneya Deshataha. We saw that. Bhinatti Shulamulam tu Brahmanda Adah Katahakam. Katahakam na in Tamil இது சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா, கடாயிங்கிறோம் இல்லையா. Even in Hindi and also you have this katai. Katai is like that in the இலுப்பச்சட்டிங்கிறோம். அந்த இலுப்பச்சட்டி மாதிரி அது கீழே இருக்கு அப்படின்னு, அதுதான் கட்டாஹகம். So adah katahakam ityukte adah kapala rupena andasya adhobhagah. So brahmanda adah katahakam bhinatti saha shulamulam, the shulasya agram tu tatra it went and hit or pierced through the brahmandam and the adah kapalam. Brahmandanam tad adarat nirmalaha atipavanaha apaha samudgataha tatra tatake shula khatite. In the tatakam, in the lake which was dug by the Trishulam, apaha samudgataha, waters came there like a spring. It just came out from the adhara bhutat nirmalaha atipavanaha. They are very pure water which is unadulterated by whatever chemicals we put in today into the water, right? Any water today we see is not pure at all. So brahmandasya avarana bhutam yate jalam vidyate tattu atipavanam vartate iti karana tatra nirmalaha atipavanaha apaha tatra kshanat tasmin tatake samudgataha. They came out and filled it up. Punaruchaihi udgataha pravahaha jalasya cha stambitaha devadevena trailokya abhayadayina. For fear that this water will come and completely merge the entire world into it, Shiva stopped that water from going up further. Because this is the Brahmanda Avarana Bhutam Ambaha Jalam iti karanat, Pralaya Kale, during Pralayam, this water is supposed to rise up and merge the Prithvi Tattvam within it. And then this water along with the Prithvi Tattvam will go and merge into the Vanni Tattvam, which is the next Avaranam. So that each one, Akasha, Vayuhu, Vayor, Agnihi, Agnehe, Apaha, Adhyaf, Prithvi. From Prithvi, you have everything else. So each one will go back into its source and merge. That is your Pratisargaha. So Pratilomnyena Pralayaha ityukte, each one will go and merge into its source. So this water which has come out into the lake that was dug by Parameshwara, there was a fear of that entirely engulfing the entire world within it. And Parameshwara Trailokya Abhayadayina, he protects the all three worlds, and he stopped the waters there itself. Stambitaha deva devena. This is not mentioned by our Kavi here. I thought it was a nice reference to bring up in the class. So avidhyamanat trishikha abhigataihi adah kapalat jagad anda bhiktehe Ambaha yad anda avaranayitam tat udbudbudam takshanam udbabhuva. Traivikrame karmani sharngina api pravartitam yad kila purvam ambaha. Sorry, karmani illiye. Traivikrame karmani irkanam. Sorry. It is Traivikrame karmani. 1 minute. Traivikrame karmani sharngina api pravartitam yatkila purvam ambaha adhogatim prapa tadeva lebhe shiva astra yogat udgatim shivastra yogat gatim itham urdhvam. I makes a slight remark here showing the difference between Vamanavatara and Parameshwara's action here, Leela, that he performed here. Traivikrame karmani, when Vamanavatara happened, So during Vamanavataram, Vishnu took on a huge form. He took on the Vishwarupam as a Vamana. He first came in as a Vamana and then he took on the Vishwarupam. When he took on the Vishwarupam, the first step was covered the entire universe. And then the second one, he covered the Akasham. So when he covered the Akasham, his leg went and hit the top Kapalam. We saw that this Shulam hit the Adah Kapalam. Here, Uparitana Kapalam Tatra Nirbibeda. So when he was doing that Trivikrama Karma, Trivikrama Karma, Trivikram, Trayaha, Vikramaha, Vikramaha ityukte Pada Vikshepaha. Trishu Lokeshu Akarot Vishnu. So 3 steps where in the action that involved 3 steps, Trivikrame Karmani, Purvam ityukte Treta Yuge. In Treta Yuga, when it during the 3 steps that he performed, Sharangina api yat pravartitam kila ambaha adogatim yat pravartitam. He pierced the top portion and the ambas, the water that was there as an anda avaranam. Anda avaranam is completely, you'll have to think of it as an egg, right? So if it is a covering for the egg, it will go all round. And when Bhagavan, Vishnu, he hit with his toe, he hit the top covering, and from that hole, water poured in, and that became Ganga. It poured through his leg. So Ganga is called Vishnu Pada Chuta Devi Mandakini iti. Tatra Prathamam Gangayaha Utpattistu Vishnu Pada Deva iti Utpattihi Varnyate Puraneshu. So when Vishnu hit the top portion of the Andam, water came out and that flowed in the form of a Nadi, which is called Ganga today. So the water that had an Adhogati, the same water got an Urdhvagati with Parameshwara's Astra. So Shiva Astra Yogat Tadeva Jalam, the same water, Itham Urdhvam Gatim Lebe. From there, it came from the Swargam to Patalam, Ganga. Whereas now, this water, which was filling up the lake, came from the Patalam to above. Okay? The difference he is trying to show is Vamanavatar Samayatu Vishnu Padaha Satyalokam Atitya Agacchate Tadanantaram Ya Nadi, the river that came from there, she had to flow, she had a downwards fall. It is like a fall. Nichaihi Durgati iti. She did not get an Uchaihi Gati, but she got a Durgati, which is Nichaihi Gavana. So, Bhogavati ityapi tasyaha samkya vartate Patala Gangayaha. Patala Gatihi vartate tasyaha. Parantu Adhogati rityasya paryayam tu Durgatihi ityapi vaktum shakyate. So he uses a play on the meaning of the word Adhogati and thinking to point out that it is a Durgati. It is a bad margam for the water, whereas with the Shiva Astra Yogat, Urdhvam Gatim, Uparitana Pradesha Gamanam. The water came from bottom to up. The natural flow of water is never from bottom to up, right? The natural flow is only from top to bottom, gravity. Whereas here, it comes from the bottom like a spring, it is sprung forth from the hole that Shiva had created there. So, Urdhvam Gatim Prapa, Purvam Trivikrame Karmani, Purvam earlier during Treta Yuga, Trivikrame Karmani, in an action that involved the 3 steps, Trivikrame, Yat Yat Ambaha Adhogatim Prapa Sharangina api Pravartitam Yat Ambaha. The water which was Pravartitam started because of Vamana. Sharangi ityukte Sharangam Sharangamanum Villandam Tannain Varla Pallandula Pallandu Patla. So Sharanga is the bow for Vishnu. It's the name of Vishnu's bow. So Sharangi ityukte Sharangam asya asti iti Sharangi Vishnu. the one who wields the bow, to show the difference in the weapon. He wields Sharangam. Here Shiva has Trishulam, but he didn't use this Sharangam to pierce the Brahmandam, but it was just his foot that hit. Ulagalanda Perumal. Sharangina api yat ambaha pravartitam, the water that had started because of Vishnu, because of Vamanavatara, it gained a descent. It attained a descent here. Adhogatim prapa. Tadeva, the same water, adhuna Shiva astra yogat, by the association of Shiva's weapon, ittam, in this manner, urdhvam gatim lebhe. It attained an ascension for the water. So Traivikrame, it is not to put down any god or anything. It's just to show the difference in the this. At that point of time, you should also think about the social situation at that point, where the differences between Shaivism and Vaishnavism was at its height at that point. So even then, this is very mild when compared to a lot of other granthas, where the Shiva Ninda athava Vishnu Ninda to adhika asti. Whereas these, the Nilakanta Dikshita or Appe Dikshita were all more tolerant, kudalla. They were very accepting of all streams of worship. The reference for Vishnu, Vamanavataram, is from Kurma Purana. Atha upatasthe Bhagavan Anadihi Pitamaha Toshayamasa Vishnum. So Vishnu, when he took his leg to cover the top portion or Akasham, his leg first went up to Satyalokam, which is Brahma's world. So Pitamaha, Brahma, who looked at this Vishnum Toshayamasa Upatasthe Mantra Purvakam Vishnu Suktam Pathitva, he praises the Lord there, and Toshayamasa, he makes him very happy. So Brahma makes Vishnu very happy at that point, and Vishnu, what he does is Bhitva tadandasya kapalam urdhvam kapalam andasya tikte brahmandasya urdhvam kapalam bhitva, he strikes and pierces through the top covering of this Brahmandam, and Divya Avaranani Bhuyaha Jagama, he also goes through all of those Avaranam. Atha Andabedate Nipapata Shitalam Mahajalam. So cold water fell down because of the piercing of this Andam. Tat Punyakritbihi Jushtam. It was take sevitam, jushtam ityukte sevitam, sarve pitam iti. So a lot of those who had done punyam, ye punyam akuruvan, te tu idam jalam apivan. Pravartate chapi saradvara tada Ganga iti yukta brahmana vyoma-samskrta. So Brahma named it as Ganga when the waters came out from the top portion of his of this Brahmanda. So Traivikrame karmani sharangina api pravartitam yatkila purvamambaha adhogatim prapatadeva lebhe shivastra yogat gatim itham urdvam didrikshamanena mahadbhutam tat shivena yavan navito namaulihi tavat saraha tatkritam uttarangam tadasravantya vibhudasravantya. This was such an ascharya even for Shiva, it seems. This is the poet's imagination here. Okay, what happened in the original Puranam, I will first say, so that it's easier to look at this in a different way. So the original Puranam has that Uttamanga Dhritam Gangam Vari Gangadharav Punaha Samyojya. When that lake was filled with water, Gangadharaha Shivaha Yaha Gangam Dharati Maulau Saha Gangam Vari Uttamanga Dhritam, the waters of Ganga that he carries in his Uttamangam, his Shiraha, in his on his head. Tatra Tirthe Samyojya, he mixes it with this Tirtham, Saras Tirtham, and told everybody Sarvan Ganeshwaran Aha Ganaha Shrinvantu Madvakyam Idam Tirtham Maya Kritam Shiva Tirtham iti Proktam Shivadattvat Swabhavataha. It will naturally give Shivam or Moksham, and hence this lake is called Shiva Tirtham. Potramare Kulamda. Gangam Payaha Api Tatra Sammilitam iti Karanat Akasha Gangayam a Heva Ambujani Samtieva. So the golden lotuses that are there in that Akasha Ganga would have also come here. So the lotuses which are there is filled with, it has a very golden color, it seems. So it is called Hemambuja Saraha. Because Shiva himself mixed those waters with the Ganga to make it even more pure. I think it is to show the Harihara Abhedam, he has done this. See, otherwise, Ganga, Yatu Vishnupada Chuta Devi, one who has come, who has Vishnu's Padam as its source, has to be mixed with this water, which has Shiva as its source, right? So it's like one Harihara Abhedam here. It's my opinion. I don't know what the poet was thinking. Anyway, so Didrikshamanena, now how the poet changes this is, he says, when this anda avaranayitam jalam tu yada urdhvam agacchate, tad drashtum ichuna shivena. Didrikshamanena, he wanted to see this, it seems. Drashtum ichchati. So, drashtum icchanna. Didrikshate. So, drashtum ichchati, always when you have sannantam there with the verb, it takes on atmanepadi. So, didrikshate. Didrikshate yaha didrikshamanaha vartate, one who wishes to see, with a shanach pratyayam along with sannantam there. So, didrikshamanena shivena tat maha adbhutam didrikshamanena shivena. Shiva wanted to see that great astonishment that had happened. Adbhuta vishayam yat sambhutam, that is ambhasaha bahiragamanam tatra drashtum ichhati shivaha. So, yavat maulihi na namitaha. No sooner had his, he because he wanted to see, he bowed his head down to see how the waters are, how that water comes up with bubbles. And immediately Ganga flowed down, it seems. Tavat tataha tasya maulehe. So, yavat na namitaha. No sooner did he put his head down to see, wanting to see that great thing, the divine river, Vibudha Sravantya, Sravanti iti pratamam, Vibudha Sravanti ityatra Vibudhanam Sravanti Nadi. The next one is a Shatra Pratyayam. Here, Sravanti, the first one is Sravanti is Nadi. It is like a samgnya for Nadi or a paryayavachi shabdam for Nadi. So, Vibudha Sravantya, Vibudha Devanadya, ya pravahanti vidyate taya Devanadya Sravantya. Ityatra tu Shatra Pratyayam vartate. So, Sravantya, Pravahantya, Vibudha Sravantya, Devanadya, tat saraha uttarangam kritam. It made the lake, because of the divine river that flows from his head, it made the lake with the waves coming out, surging waves. So, uttarangam, udgataha, tarangaha, yatha syat, tatha kritam sampaditam. So, yavat no, our thalaya, அதாவது தமிழ்ல சொல்லிடுறேன்னா, அந்த ந நமிதஹ, அந்த நஞ்ச will be better understood if it is in Tamil. அதாவது அந்த தலைய குனியல உடனே கங்கை அங்க வந்து சேர்ந்துருது அப்படிங்கணும். அதாவது it's just a simple this thing, that's all, an action that he did in order to see the waters. Didrikshamanena mahadbhutam tat shivena yavat namito namaulihi tavat sarastat kritam uttarangam tatasravantya tataha maulehe tataha sravantya vibudha sravantya. Actually, this Sravanti and Sravanti, you can take it as a yamakam, where each word, actually it should be anuprasa, lata anuprasama irkanum nenikkren. Both mean the same, pravahanti eva, प्रवहन्ति इति कारणात् प्रवहन्ति अस्ति इति कारणात् तत्र स्रवन्ति इति नदी. So I'll have to think of that alankaram there. It could be latanuprasa. Okay. Saras trishula prabhavam purarehe tatha Atyagadham tad abhut kshanena. Maybe I'm missing out some words here. Tatha atyagadham. I have only given agadham here. We will have to include atyagadham in this, in the anvaya. Okay. Saras trishula prabhavam purarehe tatha atyagadham tad abhut kshanena yatha atra devo avataran plaveta trivikramaha kranta jagatrayopi. Another atishayokti here by the poet. So trishula prabhavam saraha purarehe trishula prabhavam saraha tat saraha agadham abhut kshanena. Within moments that lake became very deep. Ati gambhiraha abhut atyagadham abhut. So Mahadevasya Trishula ahatena brahmandasya adah kapalat tu nistritam jalam khalu tena jalena sarahatu na kevalam purnam kintu ati agadham abhut ati gambiram abhut. So it not only filled the entire lake, but it also made the lake very deep in a moment. Within moments, it became so deep. Tatha atyagadam abhut yatha, so much so that even if Lord Trivikrama was to enter into this, that is Vamanavatara in his Vishwarupa state, if he was to enter into this lake, he would be floating, it seems. Plaveta saha Trivikramaha devaha yasya vapuhu kranta jagatrayam vartate. His body has exceeded, which is crossed, krantam, jagatrayam, all the three worlds. Even he, that Lord Trivikrama also, plaveta, he may float if avataran, if he descends into this lake. You should take it as an atishayokti here. Jagat prayamapi vyaptam vapuhu tasya Vishnoho, but this lake is only from bhumi to patalam, which is only a portion of the what Vishnu's form is actually. Okay, so even though Vishnu's form covers three worlds, and this lake is only from bhumi to patalam, Jagat actually. Everybody சொல்றது Jagatrayam is only three worlds, but from bhumi to patalam it is 7 worlds. So probably he is also meaning that the Shulam has traversed more worlds than what has been covered by Vishnu. Kranta Jagatrayam. Yeah. But if you take the Puranam reference, he crossed all 7 worlds on the top and went beyond the 7 avaranams and went up to Prakriti avaranam. So if you take the Puranam reference, then even if this form has encompassed a larger area than what this small lake is, yet the poet is trying to say that it is so deep that even Trivikrama avataram will just float. Plaveta ityukte sarastalam tu na sprishet. It is so deep that you cannot touch the bottom of the floor. Saras trishula prabhavam purarehe tatha atyagadham tad abhut kshanena yatha atra devaha avataran atra asmin shivatirthe avataran plaveta trivikramaha kranta jagatrayopi. Okay. Any questions? You can raise your hand and okay. Namaste Mahodaya.
Mahodaya namaste. Kasminchit Purane Smarane Nasti Kasmin Purane iti Tatra Vamanavatara Same Eda Trivikrama Rupi Bhagavan Satyalokam Prati Tasya Padaha Gataha Tada Brahmadevaha Swasya Kamandalu Jalena Padhyam Samarpitavan Punaha
Arghya Pradhanat. तदेव
तदेव
नदीरूपेण
जलं
आगच्छति इति।
तदेव जलं पुनः सः सङ्गृह्य कमण्डलु मध्ये स्थापितवान्। लोक क्षेमार्थं सः एवं पातितवान् इति कुत्र पठितवती इति स्मरणे नास्ति, किन्तु तथा अपि पठितवती। अनन्तरं भगीरथप्रयत्नसमये शिवः शिरसि धृतवान्।
न अस्ति पुराणेष्वपि there are differences in opinion between the Puranas, the stories, and you'll find this Vamanavataram is not there in Vishnu Puranam itself, but it is there in other Puranas. There is a Vamana Puranam itself. So प्रत्येकस्मिन्नपि पुराणे तत्र विभिन्नाः कथाः विद्यन्ते. कथं तत्र how do you reconcile the differences in the stories? You can say it is kalpabedam, and it depends. I mean, because of kalpabedam, this in Shvetavaraha Kalpam, this is the story. Probably in Padma Kalpam, there was a different story, different way, method that he did. Iti vaktum shakyate. Bhavatveva.
व्यासेन एव सम्पूर्णतया पुराणानि
लिखितानि.
तथापि
Vyasa is also a title. It is not just one person. Vyasa is like a title. Sthanam iti uchyate. Tari kena vyasena likhitam iti. There are opinions also with that.
अस्तु, तर्हि समानपुराणं विभिन्न कालेषु अपि
लिखिताः एव. विभिन्नकालेषु लिखिताः, तत्र सङ्गृहीताः पुराणकथाः.
युगान्तरभेदः अपि भवति इति किल?
आम् आम्.
धन्यवादः महोदय.
Any other questions? Okay, I think questions are done. We'll most probably, I will try to finish this next week. Then we will give a break for about 2 weeks and have the exam, and then we'll resume third Sarga from 19th. Namaste. Namassundaranathaya tasmai halasya vasine chaturshishti vidhalila yenakari bhuvastale.